up, every summer in July to August, my family would get together and camp out for 2 weeks at a White Lake State Park in Tamworth, New Hampshire. Some of my best childhood memories were made there. Rollerblading, Nerf gun wars, flashlight tag, a water balloon fight with my cousins and neighboring kids in the campground. When I was around my late teen years, my family stopped gathering together to camp out after my grandmother passed away. One of the last years I was there, this one particular memory was stuck with me. A little over 10 years ago, I was 16 years old. It was around 10 p.m. at night when I noticed I had a missed call on my cheap little trace phone. My family was sitting around the campfire cooking some more and sharing some laughs. So I decided to go off for some privacy to return a call. I took a long, narrow trail that winds in between other campsites, that at the end leads to a bathroom. I wasn't going to the bathroom. I just wanted to find an empty campsite and sit at a picnic table to make my call. There was plenty of those, since this whole side of the campground where I was heading was vacant. There were no other campers nearby in that area. It was quiet and dark, so I chose a campsite. I sat down at the table. Lights from the distant bathroom from up on top of the hill behind me were illuminating my surroundings, just a little bit. I called my friend and was carrying on a conversation around 20 minutes. As I'm sitting there, staring straight ahead, I see a silhouette coming down the road in front of me. The figure is coming towards my direction, where all these empty campsites are. I could see it was a person. It's not that usual to see people strolling through the campground for a night walk. The people I see usually have flashlights, though this person did not. I wasn't creeped out at this point. No reason to be. I was just watching curiously. As the person got closer, I could see a better outline that it was a man I was looking at. I also noticed he slowed down his pace. I kept my eyes fixated on him as I continued conversating on my cell phone. A minute or two passes, and now he stopped moving. He's just standing there, in the road looking straight into the campsite where I'm at. I don't know if he knew I could see him. He was staring at me, and I was staring right back at him. He was a little heavy set and tall. I could also make out he was wearing a light jacket. I couldn't see much from facial features, but I would guess I was staring at a man in his 30s or 40s. Alarm bells were going off in my head now. My mind had turned into mush at this point. I'm frozen. I was no longer listening to what my friend was saying on the phone. I was in a stare-off with this guy. Then, he started to move again. He was tiptoeing towards me, very carefully, like he didn't want me to make noise. He put one foot in front of the other. He leaned forward in a slight hunch form. It looked like he was about to charge towards me. In that moment, I snapped out of that mind-mushy frozen state and leaped off the picnic table and started running through the campsite, back towards the trail. Thud, thud, thud. I could hear him trampling behind me, these scuffing, heavy yet fast footsteps. Footsteps were getting louder and closer. I made it back to that narrow trail. Once he got close to whereabout I was, I heard the sound of twigs snapping and an oof noise that came from the man, which I can imagine maybe he tripped or almost tripped, or maybe got face-slapped by a tree branch. Most likely he was familiar with the trail like I was. Whatever the reason was, it caused him to stop chasing me. I didn't stop to look back. I just kept running until I made it back to my family's campsite. When I got back, they were still sharing laughs and smiles by the campfire. I broke down crying and I was trembling. I explained what had just happened. My aunt spoke up and said, "Oh geez, he probably thought he knew you and was coming to give you a good scare as a joke." She dismissed me. My cousin chimed in and said, "Yeah, he probably stopped running after he realized that he didn't actually know you. He probably feels dumb now." They all chuckle about it and change the subject. I think I was dismissed because no one wanted the good vibes of the night to be ruined. And the fact I'm just a socially anxious person in general. I'm very cautious and shy for that time being. I let them convince me that I was just overreacting and overthinking. But here I am, years later, looking back and shaking my head over this. I wish I was taken seriously. But other than that, one thing happening. It was still a good trip. It was time well spent with family. My experience makes me think twice about going for a walk by myself anywhere. I carry pepper spray and a mini keychain alarm on me now. So, Mr. Campground Chaser, let's not meet again.